Today I want to talk about the hot topics in education, and today we're going to look at social networking and media, along with educators cheating on standardized tests. This presentation was put together by Lindsay Key and Chad McEwan for Instructional Leadership 564 at Jacksonville State University with Dr. Kaiser. Today, issues facing public schools stem from these basic concepts: honesty, integrity, and equality. The first issue is social networking, and that's the first debate I want to talk about. The critics are saying social networking creates a serious risk for students' safety. Proponents feel that social networking as an educational tool enhances the teaching and learning opportunities in a school setting. So we're going to look at both sides of the issue, and I'll let you make the decision for yourself. Digital natives. Our classrooms are filled with digital natives. The students come to us knowing much more about technology than we know. These kids are born with this technology, they're raised with it. Christmas presents, the things they get all stem from this new version of technology. So when the kids come to our classrooms, they're already prepared to use this stuff. Way beyond our capability of understanding it. So as educators, we are told to meet our students where they are. Is that the web? Is that through text messaging? That's what we need to look at today as we explore this concept. Go ahead and hit the slide. Where will these digital relationships lead? If we as teachers are meeting students where they are and using technology to do this, will this lead to crossing ethical boundaries? Many cases throughout our literature review discussed cases in which ethical boundaries were crossed. Is this the majority of teachers or just a few bad apples in a large group? Frank Lamont, director of the National Student Press Law Center, said, "Teachers have a legitimate need to meet students where they are. And these days, that's in cyberspace." Networking in the classroom. Networking or social media in the classroom is designed to enrich the learning experience, engage students in the learning process, build communication opportunities with our students, with parents, with administrators, with other community members, and also it's designed to include students that won't participate in a traditional classroom setting. Some of the data has shown a student that doesn't want to interact in a class of 30 or more kids will interact online when they don't feel the pressures of the other children around them in the room. So that's an advantage. And finally, preparing students for a technological job market. Virtual issues with technology. Obviously, we're all familiar with Facebook and some of the internet sites and things you can do on the internet, Twitter and Facebook and things. They can create a distraction. Students can be sidetracked. And some teachers are reporting they're often off task during an assignment. So if a teacher gives an online assignment, some students might get caught up in the virtual side and be text messaging a friend or be on a site they're not supposed to be on. Additionally, students are not engaged in physical or social interactions with peers and the instructor. When students are spending the entire day on a computer, they're not getting that true physical or social interaction they would get in a traditional classroom setting. Cyberbullying is a new term that we've been hearing about lately. Cyberbullying creates issues on and off campus, including physical altercations, harassment. It's led to some school shooting issues, suicide, and additional violence. Along with cyberbullying, we have another aspect of social media, which is online predators or pedophiles, and they can often interact with young students. And then finally, inappropriate content, images, videos, and websites that students can pop up while they're searching the internet. Here's some data from the Cyberbullying Research Center. According to their studies, victims of cyberbullying, this was anywhere from middle to high school, was anywhere from 20 to 40%. The same numbers are found that the aggressors of cyberbullying are 20 to 40% of all students. So looking at those numbers, that's anywhere from 2 out of 10 to 4 out of 10 students have either been a victim or been the aggressor of cyberbullying. Additionally, researchers from Indiana State University found that college students were harassed 22% of the time online, either with chat rooms or Twitter or Facebook. That's 1 out of 4 college students admitting to being harassed online. Typical locations of cyberbullying will occur on Facebook, Twitter, and other social networks. The key is finding a balance between the pros and the cons. As educators, we have to provide students with the tools necessary to participate in a 21st century world. Additionally, stakeholders must be working together to develop a plan that promotes the best educational opportunities for every child in a public school. The second issue I want to talk about is cheating, educators cheating on standardized tests. And the first slide here is just a definition of standardized test and what a standardized test is. Some experts argue that standardized test scores are not an accurate measure of a student's intelligence, while others assert that these scores help to more accurately gauge a student's abilities. So again, you're going to have to make the decision. Are standardized tests important, and are they becoming so important it's causing some educators to make immoral and unethical decisions? And that's what we're going to talk about here in a moment. Some experts are saying standardized tests has undermined the ethical quality of teaching and learning. As the stakes increase, so do the incidents of cheating. We're going to talk about that as we continue through the slide presentation. The whole system is now constructed in a way that encourages misbehavior. When people's livelihood and reputation depend on test scores, some of them will get the scores they need by either hook or by crook. Some large districts involved in testing fraud. This has been in the newspaper. This has been online. Baltimore, Maryland, a large school district. Dallas, Texas. Obviously, Atlanta, Georgia was one of the more current locations of fraud regarding standardized testing. Norfolk, Virginia, Uniondale, New York, and Camden, New Jersey. Now, these are just some of the large, more prominent school districts, and this goes on at other smaller school districts as well. Some examples of test irregularities that have been found. McEwan Investigators is the research company that the Atlanta School Board hired to investigate the testing scandal through the Atlanta Public Schools. And the McEwan Investigators said that testing violations are often honest mistakes rather than deliberate fraud. So some teachers might not realize they are committing a test irregularity. It might be an honest mistake. A common mistake we often see, an example I'll give you is a special education student being given additional assistance by a well-meaning test administrator. The test administrator is not trying to give the student the answer. He or she is just working with that student, trying to help them overcome their disability on a standardized test. Additionally, irregularities that are common are test administrators often give students too much or too little time to complete the exam. Is the pressure of the standardized test too much on the student, on the school, on the educators, on the administrators, which is leading to educators cheating? Many schools, particularly those in low-income areas that are already stretching resources too thin, are facing additional pressure to teach to the test in order to ensure that all of their much-needed funding continues. The pressure has apparently led some teachers and administrators to tweak test scores so schools get a better performance rating. Some possible explanations for this cheating we're seeing amongst educators. Presumably, the educators in Atlanta entered into the profession with the intention of helping students learn, giving them a solid moral foundation, allowing them to explore their creativity and individuality, and above all, being a participant in a space where students feel safe enough to explore all aspects of their sense of self and other places in their relationship to others. So basically, when I look at what happened in Atlanta, is I think the teachers didn't come into the teaching profession wanting to commit fraud or cheat on a standardized test. I truly think their intentions were to help the children, to better the school, and to promote education. And we just saw from the pressures that have built up, possibly from all the different factors that play into standardized testing, some of the outcomes we've seen. But the reality is some educators did cheat on standardized testing. Somewhere along the line, these reasons for entering the world of education dissipated, largely because of disillusionment with the school system and a lack of support either financially or legislatively. It is an institutional environment that affected these people in so much way that momentarily they let go thoroughly ingrained morals and they made a poor decision. What do we do with this whole situation of standardized testing? Well, the debate regarding standardized testing rages. School districts will continue to investigate and manage cheating teachers and administrators on an individual basis. As others see the result of these scandals posed to both sides and the students who attend them, people may begin to further question the best ways to assess students and school performance without the added pressure on schools to perform despite the educational challenges they might face. Again, cheating is morally and ethically wrong. Whether pressured or not, educators should stand firm in their morals and ethics and do the right thing. Our students are the most important thing in education. We must keep our integrity and give them the best possible education. Be the example. We as educators must remember our job is to keep students safe and provide them with the best education possible. Hot topics such as this will continue to occur in our profession. But we must do our best to remember that most important part of education is the students. Ethics must begin at the top of an organization. It is a leadership issue and the chief executive must set the example. Edward Hennessy. This is a list of the references that we used during the presentation, and there's one more slide of references. And that is the conclusion for the Hot Topics presentation.